here, MC Noble, whatever you want to call me. Loads of different names through different things that I've done over the years. Welcome back to another stream, and we have some news to talk about in today's stream actually. And this is something that definitely shocked me. Something that I never thought that I would see, and it's made me so happy to have seen this. And I thought this is something that I've got to stream about, and this is something that sort of like without me streaming or saying something about it, because this is very exciting. Um, for those of you who haven't seen on Facebook, DJ Dougal, the hardcore legend, he put a picture on his Facebook DJ page a couple of days ago. It was a picture of him and his old partner in crime, Gammer, who is one of the biggest and best hardcore producers that has ever graced the scene. And essentially, it was a picture of them both together, and they had basically met up for a catch up, and they'd taken a picture together. And what Dougal, his sort of bio of the picture, if you like, or what he sort of captioned the picture, is he was explaining how it was really nice to link up and reunite with with Gamma again, and have a little catch up. But it was what he said after that that has the whole hardcore scene and Facebook and other things just absolutely taking it by storm, and there's people going absolutely crazy, and they're sharing the shit out of it, which is crazy. And he said that in May, Dougal and Gamma are actually going to get back into the studio. Yes, what is going on, Fish King? So yeah, Dougal and Gamma are going back into the studio in May. Now, this is very, very exciting. This is what the hardcore scene have wanted for a very long time, because Dougal and Gamma, if you do not know, they produce tunes together for years. I think the Dougal and Gamma sort of started in the early 2000s when Dougal sort of came across Gamma, and Gamma was sort of making waves, and Dougal sort of noticed that there is a story. You can watch it on YouTube. It's a little interview. I think Billy Bunter, of all people, I think he interviewed Gamma on this radio show every Monday that he does, and I think, to cut the story short, I think Gamma explained the story of how he met Dougal, and then I think Dougal also explained the story as well, and absolutely crazy. It's got David from Bray. Roberto's pal. This just man. Oh, wicked man, Shockwave. Yeah, no worries, bro. Yeah, so if you watch the interview, it just explains how basically they united. But they've made some of the biggest and best hardcore tunes that we've ever heard. They've done some absolutely wicked remixes, but also upon that they've been slated a lot over the years. A lot of people thought they didn't like Gamma's sort of style of adding like dubstep sounds and like dub sort of into hardcore, and they didn't like the sort of cheesiness as well that they took with the hardcore, as opposed to the old sort of Psy and Unknown days and Scott Brown days, where Scott Brown was doing a little bit different, I suppose, where he was kind of like taking a few or a couple of words out of like rap songs, and doing some other different things that just essentially, I guess, was a little bit less cheesier, but just had a really good hardcore feel to it. And then Psy and Unknown, they were doing their quash things, which again did some absolutely amazing tunes on there. But Gamma was adding all these dubstep sounds. So a lot of people slated him, and a lot of people said that Dougal shouldn't have signed him to Essential Platinum. They shouldn't have done that together. and you know, stuff like that. But you know, nevertheless, loads of people love Dougal and Gammer, and they were by far for me, they were my most favourite duo. They did some of my most favourite hardcore tunes that I still play today. If I'm doing a hardcore set, it is very rare that I don't play a Dougal and Gamma tune of some sort, whether it be Monster, Boing, anybody else but you, Trust in Me, Show Me the Way, which you did with JBC, and I think Jenna was singing on that one as well. That is one of my all-time favourite. I think it is probably about my all-time favourite Dougal and Gamma tune. I love the melody in it, and it just has a really good feel to it. And when the melody comes in, it's just so sort of happy. It just gives you a buzz and a vibe. And there's just something about it that I absolutely love. So, you know, they made tunes for years. And if I am correct, I mean, I wasn't massively big in the hardcore back then. I didn't follow it like as much as I do now. Back sort of just sort of really getting into it, and I didn't really follow too much behind it. I just listened to the music. I didn't really know too much about the DJs, where they came from, what labels they were signed to back then. I just heard a song, and if I liked it, I liked it. But from what I can gather, Gamma actually left the hardcore scene, and I believe he moved over to the USA, and he started doing sort of like more sort of like EDM-y hardcore, stroke like hard style, stroke a little bit sort of trancey stuff as well, and just went a little bit, I suppose, a bit like what Ben Nicky does, you know, just has these sort of like crazy sort of different drops, like psytrance drops, and you know, dubstep drops, and you know, so just some different kind of drops really, and he sort of left, and I got asked by a few people that was never sure, and people would ask me, and like, didn't Dougal and Gamma ever fall out? And as far as I can remember, I don't think that they ever did fall out. So, but I was never certain, so I never told anybody, you know, like whether they did or they didn't. I just said I'm not sure. I don't think they did. But all that I can really gather is that Gamma went over to the USA. But what I do remember is DJ Cots and Ravine. They did a vlog, and they went over to play in HTID in the Sun. I believe either 2013 or 2014, and they vlogged it. And right at the end, they did like there was a little video clip where they're in a swimming pool talking to Gamma, and I think they asked him something about you know, like saying some people have been rumouring online that he was like slating hardcore and saying it was shit or something, and I think he just clarified that he was getting a bit fed up of the arguments and the politics within it or something. So lifting me higher. Yes, DJ Cots and Ravine's sets were fire. They like Dougal and Gamma, and then Cots and Ravine. They were kind of like another Dougal and Gamma, but less on the production side and more on the B2B side. And they used to whack out some sick B2Bs on YouTube. When I was sort of really just starting to get into hardcore myself, I watched them a lot, and they did a lot of B2Bs together, and followed Ravine for quite a long time. And they both still DJ now, but they don't really do much stuff together. And at Cots, he just sort of does like a mix now and again. So like every so many months, there'll be like a mix, and it's him in his studio. And then through lockdown, Ravine went live like every single day during the lockdown, which just got a bit repetitive and boring after a while. And then I think he just didn't do it for ages. And he started playing like Russian hard bass and stuff, and he just changed, and it wasn't as good in my opinion. And like his whole sort of hardcore just sort of changed as well. He was sort of playing this sort of like newer hardcore hard style that, you know, had these like different drops in it. It just weren't like the old days, you know, the same. So anyway, so we cut the story short. In I believe 2020, Dave Anywhere did a live stream over Christmas. They did a Christmas live stream, where just basically like about 6 or 7 people got together in like a venue. Obviously, clubs were still shut back then because of COVID. They did like a live stream, and they did the big announcement that Gammer was going to come back for one night only. And WizKid hosted him on the mic, which was absolutely wicked. So they hosted him on the mic, and then I think about maybe a year later, or just a bit less, maybe sort of mid to late 2021. Gamma actually came back. I think it was in December as well. He came back and he did another Rave Anywhere as well, and I think he did that with MC WizKid as well. And then that was again, it was supposed to be for one night only. And then we fast forward to, was it March of this year, or was it February? I think it was February. I have a poster for it somewhere. But yeah, I think it was February of this year. It was like late February. Gamma actually came to Rave Escape at the Doncaster warehouse, which was absolutely wicked to see. He played his newer stuff. So he did all this like sort of stuff that he's been doing abroad and stuff, but it was still really good to see him, and it was still banging music for me. I still loved it, which was absolutely wicked. So obviously, like I say, Dougal announced the other day that they're going to reunite and they're going to make some music together. They're actually getting in the studio together next month, which, believe it or not, May is actually this Sunday. So they're actually getting together in the studio in May. Which is absolutely wicked. But I want to jump the gun a little bit, because I'm a little bit excited for this, and I'm a little bit more excited for this than maybe some other people will be, because I've come up with a little bit of a theory as well, and I'm not saying this is certain, but if this is true, then something really magic will happen. So for those of you who are not aware, Dougal and Gammer, they used to use a vocalist called Jenna, and I believe it's the same Jenna that sung the Force and Styles Heart of Gold, and she sung Show Me the Way. I believe she sung Lose Me Forever. I think she might have been the one who sung Lifting Me Higher as well. Maybe anybody else but you. I'm not sure. Like, not all the songs say featuring Jenna, but some of them do. But anyway, to cut the story short, Dougal was playing a gig live somewhere not too long back, and he actually had Jenna singing live on his set, and he put a video up, and he said that we might have to get Jenna back into the studio. So I'm thinking he's going to reunite with Gamma. But are they going to do a tune that's going to have Jenna's vocals again? So, are they really going to make something magic like they used to do? Like, are they really going to make a proper banging hardcore tune with Jenna's vocal like they used to do? Or is Jenna not going to be a part of it, and they're just going to make something like new and modern that just isn't really too, be alright, but won't be like it used to be? Or are they going to do a remix of something that they did do like years ago? Like, they're going to do sort of like maybe like a 2022 update of something? Or are they just going to start making some fresh tunes again as a duo? Are they just going to make a tune as a one-off? Or are they going to be back on a more permanent basis and maybe start, releasing on a label again? Are they maybe going to relaunch an old label? Or is that going to be dead in the past? We don't actually know. We haven't got no insight, but it's still exciting that they're going to come back, and even if they did just do one tune, it would just be amazing to hear something fresh from them again, like even if it was just for a one-off. But it's got a lot of people excited, it's got a lot of people like energetic, and it's got a lot of people talking, and a lot of people I know who are into the hardcore, they're absolutely buzzed about it as well. I've seen like mutual friends commenting on the post, and it's just so good to see. It feels like, because a lot of people have said over the years, like, oh, hardcore is dead. And yeah, it's not as big as it used to be, but there is still some little sort of like passion, some little flame, and some little light that just does keep it going. And we might not have the biggest scene in the game, but there's some really good hardcore raves coming about at the moment. There's some really good, like I say, Dougal and Gammer are producing again. The Australian 170 label is killing it at the moment. I love that label. People like Jacoby, Technicore, JTS, Spyro, Alex Prospect. They're all producing and releasing at the moment. And then you've got you've got Rob IYF and Al Storm. They're just bringing out tracks like there's no tomorrow. They're bringing out tunes like it's a Saturday night in a takeaway and you've got about 100 orders to get through. There's like a new tune every 20 minutes, or we start a tune in the morning and have it finished by dinner time. It's crazy, they're pumping out some tunes there's some good things coming around at the moment. I mean, I've gone sort of into the bounce at the moment. I've gotten sort of right into that. I haven't like as such left that. I still love the music and I still love, I love the genre itself. But I got into the bounce just because, I mean, for starters, I got a bounce booking. It was quite a big booking for me. And just the general booking itself, and I got paid for the booking as well, which a lot of the hardcore stuff I've been doing had mainly just been on the Freemans, which you have to do that to get your name out. You can't just DJ at home for a few years and then expect to go to a club and instantly start getting paid. And I know it can seem like you're travelling here and you're travelling there and you're getting out for it. But you've sort of got to build a name for yourself, and then once you've done that, you can start asking to charge, which a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't sort of know when they should start asking to charge, so they don't. And then that does become where people will just start taking a mug out of you and use you for nothing. Like for example, I ain't gonna name and shame, but I played for a brand quite a few times now, and they were putting an event on. They're putting one on coming up very soon, and I got asked to play it, and it was because it was quite a special one. Part of me really did want to play it, but they wasn't going to pay. They said that they wouldn't be able to pay, and I played for quite a few events of theirs, to the point where I'm kind of thinking, well, I just can't do it. I've supported the brand enough times now that, you should at least just give me something, for coming and playing. So sadly, it was a little bit of a turn it down. And, as much as I hate turning a booking down because I hate not going somewhere and playing, if I get offered, I like to do something. But, at the end of the day, when you're travelling like two sort of hours, and then you've got to get food and you've got to get drink while you're there, whether you alcohol or just a soft drink. Usually a soft drink nowadays in my case, but it can get a little bit costly. And that is especially when you played for a brand a couple of times, if I get booked there for the first time or something, I don't mind doing that for nothing, especially if it's going to benefit me, if there's some big names on the flyer and it's going to push me out there, and there's a chance that these headliners might notice me. That's going to stand in my stead. But when you played like 3 or 4 times and you've got nothing for it, and then you ask to play again, and then you do sort of say, well, look, is there any way you can you could sort the fuel out, and blah blah blah, it's costly for me to come all that way, and then they don't. That's when you feel a little bit like, well, sorry, I can't play, as gutting as it is. You know what I mean? So obviously, that's just, I guess it's just the way it goes, isn't it? But with the bounce, I got a booking. I never even asked about paying at the time because I was on a big flyer with some big names. It was quite local to where I live as well. It was only about half an hour away. So to be honest, I wasn't. It didn't pop into my mind because last year I was kind of like going here, there, and everywhere for nothing, just to really try and boost my name out there. But then when they said, like, here's your money for playing, it gave me such a buzz, and then they booked me again, and then because I did a second room and I did a main room. I got even more for doing so. And the promoter said to me, he said, look, if we do well and we have a good event, we always pay our DJs. And I thought that is a really nice and respectable thing to do, because a lot of people don't do that nowadays. And it is a little bit of a shame that that they don't. And people trying to put these nights on and they've got no money behind it. And I know, trust me, because I'm dealing with a right sort of crank case at the moment. But it's a tough one. But basically, he wants to put like not a festival on as such, but he wants to put like a little all day thing on. So he's putting one on, and he just really, he runs sort of like a football club kind of thing. And he wants to put like a music event on that's sort of all day at the football thing, and he wants to have like food vans and stuff like that. But he wants to kind of like, he wants everything sort of more or less on the free. So he wants to find people that are willing to sort of come and sort of work for him for the day, for nothing, essentially. So he don't want to pay the DJs. He was looking for security, and he wanted somebody like who would, would like security for free for the day, which is people aren't going to do it. It's a daft thing. And then he's wanting like I say, all these different food vans and bouncy castles, because it's like an all ages thing. And he wants to just try and literally get everything as cheap as he can, or get things for free. Even today, he wanted a promo video making, and it's just like he just does. It's like he just does not have a clue. So I'm like, well, I can do like promo videos. I can put something together, and I'm like, what sort of idea do you want? And he just puts something good, and I'm thinking, well, how is that supposed to help me? And then he's like, he's moaning that the tickets, these tickets aren't selling, and I'm thinking, well, is it really well advertised? Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got a flyer out, you're trying to advertise something when you've not even got like solid like food vans and things sorted. You don't, you can't advertise fully what's there because you don't know if you've got it yet, and everything just is really like poorly. He's trying to go as cheap as he can, but to put something on like that, as I know because I've just done an events management course, it's, and I even sort of had a vague idea before the course anyway. You can't put something on that scale for cheap. You are gonna, at some point, you are gonna have to put your hand in your pocket for something. Whether it be bouncy castles or food vans. And I just think to myself like this, and part of me thinks like, what am I even doing, like sort of like playing for it? But because we come to an arrangement and an agreement, and I sort of tried to wiggle his way around it. Everything sort of turned out all good. But then it was like, I think it was about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, he was urgently looking for a DJ to do a birthday party. I believe for his son. So I got in touch. I was like, I can do it. Where is it? I can bring my equipment. I quoted him, and then he was like, oh no, I was hoping free. And then I was like, look, I can't do it for free. I'm bringing my own equipment. But I said, look, I'll do you a little bit of discount. What would you be? And he's like, I've got no idea. And then I was like, I can drop down to 100. And then he tried to say, look, will I do it for free again? And I'm like, no, sorry, mate. Good luck finding a DJ, but it's going to be hard getting one for free. So I just, in the end, I was like, no, sorry. Not going to do it for nothing. Do you know what I mean? So there we go. But yeah, I just sort of, like I say, I moved over to the bounce scene because... well, I wouldn't say moved over. I mean, I'm not really part of any scene in particular. I just, you know, I play a bit of everything, but I guess at the moment I have been playing bounce more recently, and I have been following the bounce scene a little more, whether it be like supporting the new track releases, or whether it just be like supporting, you know, other bounce DJs and producers themselves. So I guess I have sort of, in a way, become a part of the bounce scene, but you know, I never physically class myself part of the scene, because I'll play anything. You know, I can jump behind my decks and do a classic house mix, or I can jump behind the decks and, you know, go through some like Kevin and Perry trance. You know, I've got a sort of a love for everything. You know, or you know, I do still go behind my decks, and you know, I do blast out an hardcore set, but at the moment I am just really loving my bounce tunes, and that's where it's all coming from at the moment. Like I say, so that's going to be good. So yeah, quick updates as well. Bounce to Your Drop, they've got their next event on the 11th of June, which is good. So I'll be down there to support that. I don't think, I'm not certain if I'm playing yet. I've not been asked, although one of the promoters did. I was in a message chat with him probably about a week ago now, just over, or just under. He was just telling me that there's going to be some news about the next event soon, and he asked me if November was the last time when I played. So I think, because he did always say, because I didn't play the last one, you see, but he did always say that I would, you know, that you know, they're not dropping me like totally, like I'll still play again. So I think he was just sort of, you know, trying to work it out, like, you know, if I did, you know, I think, did I play in November last, you know, so I'm guessing if I don't play this one, which, you know, we'll find out, then I'll maybe play the next one or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just one of them sort of, you know, just one of them things in it, you know. So I'm not certain, but all I can say is you know, whatever happens, whether be I play or I don't play, they'll put on a banging night, and I know there's always going to be a set there for me in the future, which I'm pleased about, and you know, they put banging nights on, and you know, they always invite me down, and they always let me, you know, come and be part of the event. They do say I can go on stage and stuff as well, but if I'm not playing, I tend to sort of stay off the stage, because I just like to give the chance of other, you know, like the artists and things. And I just think it don't look too good if the stage is always rammed as well. I think stages, in a lot of sense, should be restricted to sort of like people mainly just who are playing. So, you know, like DJs. And I think, you know, but I know, like, you know, if you're a DJ and you bring your girlfriend along, or you bring, I don't know, say a friend along, you know, you know, it's sort of, you know, it's right that they're going to want to come on the stage and, you know, sort of like, you know, come as your plus one, do you know what I mean? And you know, you don't just, in some sense, they don't want to be just dumped in the crowd, you know, sort of while you're like backstage, and you know, you're on stage all night kind of thing. You know, it's obvious, isn't it, that they want to kind of be there with you. You know, they want to watch you play, and you know, they want to video you as well while you're on the decks, and it's an obvious thing, but sometimes, you know, it can get misunderstood, and then like friends of friends try coming on the stage, and then before you know it, you've got about sort of 8 to 10 different people that are sort of like on the stage. So what I think should personally happen in my experience is, I think what should happen is, like, so if there's a club with a green room, I think the artist and the artist plus one can go in the green room, but I think the plus one of the artist should only go on the stage when that person that they've come with is playing. So, for example, say if I had a girlfriend and I brought her to an event that I was playing, she should only be allowed on the stage while I'm playing, you know, to like video me, photograph me while I'm up there. But when I'm not playing, she's just allowed in the green room. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if you look at Backdrop, they've got the stage, and then they've got like a VIP balcony. So I think personally, if I was playing and I'd say I brought my girlfriend, she should only be allowed on the stage while I'm playing. Do you know what I mean? But then once I finish playing, you know, she is only allowed on the balcony, so the stage isn't getting too sort of like rammed and crammed, you know. Like, so I know maybe sort of as harsh as it sounds, but stages, you know, they can look too crammed, and to me it doesn't work, you know. And I know sometimes club owners don't like it as well. And I know at the last bounce to your drop that I played, I got a little bit giddy and I got in the way a little bit of the photographer. Big shout to DJ Z, absolute legend. But yeah, I just got a little excited, and you know, I was in the way of his footage a bit. You know, as you do, you just get excited. I weren't the only one to get in the way of the footage, but you know, I did do it as well, and I hold my hands up to doing it. But you know, and I know the club weren't sort of too happy as well, which was you know, obviously a thing to sort of think of. So like, you know, when I don't play, they have said like, you can go on the stage, you know, but I'm just a bit like, yeah, you know, I'll go on the balcony and stuff, but I just think like, you know, the stage is, you know, I'm not playing, and I know the security, they didn't allow me on the stage, even though the event promoter said I could go on, and they was like, yeah, time you come off the stage now. No, you can't go on. But then for whatever other reason, there was like other people that went on the stage that shouldn't have gone on the stage, in my opinion. So it's a crazy one, but I just think as a bit of respect, if you're not playing, keep away from the stage. The stage is for people who are playing. You know, if they let you go on the balcony or sit in a back room, that's fair enough. You know, that's a little different, but you know. So yeah, so they're back on the 11th of June. There will be info following that very soon, so I'm looking forward to it. Apparently they've sealed someone quite big, so I'm looking forward to seeing who it is. And like I say, I'll be supporting just how it goes, you know, supporting the event and stuff. So you know, we've got to take it from there. But yeah, my gig yesterday at the Polar Bear, that went well, but I'll be making a separate stream about that. I did one on Facebook yesterday, which is why I didn't do one on YouTube, and then today I've done this one about Dougalington. We've reconnected. Sorry, I've got this thing on when my phone reaches 20%, just basically like turns Bluetooth data hotspots off. But because I had the hotspot on tethered to the PC as well, it was making the phone get really hot, and it's just like really killing the battery quite quickly. So I won't be streaming for longer, but we're more or less near the end anyway. But I forget where we was now. Oh yeah, so I'm going to make a separate stream regarding yesterday. It's just like I went Facebook yesterday, and you know, then I never got a chance to do YouTube. And then we streamed about this today, about Dougal and Gammer. So I've got to do the after my music gig at the Polar Bear, which, like I say, it went down really well, but I'll do a dedicated stream about that. If you didn't know, I've got my green screen set back up, so there's going to be some live streams on here coming soon as well. I'll be doing some bounce mixes and probably some other mixes as well, but I'll be coming live and spinning some tunes, so that'll be all good and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that is really about it for the moment, for the time being. So yeah, make sure to like, make sure to comment, share, smashing news about Dougal and Gammer, and we'll see you next time.